This next video is from the Kamala Harris rally in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Michigan, making a lot of news. Michigan feels like that state that could go sideways. Talk about vibes. Those are the vibes I'm getting. Here's Kamala Harris in the middle of her speech. Inside 10 days of Election Day now, protested yet again.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
No more Gaza war. Have you no decency, right? All coming apart one more time.
We are fighting for America's future, and we
war.
understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear.
It's falling apart.
Great to see.
No, keep playing it. Keep playing it. She lit. Falling apart. Falling apart. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do.
What can she do?
She doesn't know how to handle that. She has no idea. She has no idea because she is an empty vessel that they tried to puppeteer into the presidency. And at least at this moment, it looks like it's not going to work. It was always a long shot.
Yeah. You know, they're used to being able to bring these radicals, so to speak. They're usually able to cuck them by this point in the campaign. You know, within 10 days of the election, yeah, you threw your little tantrum about the primary being rigged and blah, blah, blah. But by this point in the campaign, we're usually able to say Trump enough and in as serious a tone of voice as to get you to bend the knee. But it's not happening this time. It's very significant. We always knew there were going to be protesters on the campaign trail this season. We didn't know whether or not they would persist into this late into the cycle. And the fact that you were in this critical swing state of Michigan, you could see Kalamazoo, Michigan, the upper left-hand corner there, with less than 2 weeks to go, to have a protester like that show up is, I think, a hugely significant thing. And it's perhaps, and hopefully I will say, a foreshadowing of things to come. Because the Abandon Harris movement's goal is to cluster the state of Michigan. It is. We don't know what the final numbers are going to be. It's impossible. The polls are just too close. So we don't know what Jill Stein's vote total is going to be relative to whatever margin exists between Trump and Harris. But you are set up for a very, very close race there, with Jill Stein polling pretty well, representing that sentiment in the audience. I'm not speaking for that person. I don't know if they're who they are, if they're a Stein supporter, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're seeing in Michigan something that looks like a storm brewing, and it's been brewing for a long time. And for a couple months over the summer there, when Donald Trump was just stepping in dog shit every step he took, it looked like he might get away with this and she might pull this out in states like Michigan, which are still oriented towards Democrats. Don't forget, I mean, Trump's victory there was the only time Cool Blue could get you a number on this, but that was the only time Michigan has gone red, at least in the last 28 years, I'll say. I could say that pretty comfortably. So these are still traditionally purple but lean blue states. And in 2016, you started seeing signs of a crack in that blue wall pretty early on, and then you would see them resurface throughout the campaign. You're seeing the exact same thing here in Michigan, where you could very, very easily have a situation where this administration's support for this genocide cost them this race. And we're starting to see this more and more. I mean, foreign policy doesn't usually come into play in a presidential race as much as it should, but you're starting to see TV segments now. Kamala was asked, what do you say if you lose this election because of Gaza? Are you worried you're going to lose the election over Gaza? The fact that we're even asking that question means it is a strong possibility, given the tightness of the polls and given the demographics of a critical swing state like Michigan, where you got hundreds of thousands of Arab voters, very few of whom are voting for Kamala, most of whom usually vote Democrat.
Please clap.